Alright bros, eventful, not the way I wanted, but eventful none the least. I got my AC charged up today, and this line, this lower line here where the rubber is, right where my finger's pointing, blew out. The nylon just blew out all over the place. You might be able to see it. Yeah, not that great. Either way, it was blowing some nice ice cold air, and then the line blew out. So I looked up the line and it's like 200 bucks, but found it on eBay for like 25. So still swamp ass, no air conditioning, but I decided to turn my Frown upside down, and I pulled out my back seat and I swapped out the fuel pump. I got the old fuel pump in here, and yep, swapped out my fuel pump, and I put in the Snake Eater 1000s. 1000 cc, got my adapters in there, and you can see the fuel rail is taller, so I just cut some, I noticed it was approximately 20 millimeter, and I had some aluminum spacers for doing like accessories or other shit. So I had these guys, so I cut them down to 20 millimeters a piece, and then I used the steam vent bolts. I have a bunch of these left over. These are the same thread as the fuel rail, except they're longer. So when you try to put the fuel rail bolt back in, it's too short. So if you're ever at the junkyard and you need to put a taller injector in your truck intake, steal a bunch of these. Well, you only need 4. They're a longer fuel rail bolt. So I got the 1000s in here and the fuel pump, and I'm still at about 60% alcohol. And I've been working on the tune-up just so it can start. And I raised my clutch pedal. I've been trying to turn my Frown upside down. So here is, still heating up, but running good. And we're on the 1000s right now. And I put a little bit of chop in. I kept getting hassled by Chris Ortiz. Anyway, Chris said not enough chop, so I put some more chop in it. So a couple days I'll get the AC line. In the meantime, I'll probably hit the dyno again, since now I have plenty of fuel and then some. And then I want to get the nitrous kit back on, so we'll finalize the motor tune-up on ethanol. Maybe I'll even pick up more E just for fun. I'm getting lower on fuel. Steven at LOJ said before I do the pump to definitely make sure I'm lower on gas, just because as soon as you lift the pump up, it spills all over the back seats. So make sure the fuel level's low. So I'm almost at a quarter tank, so I got that done. And once I do a little bit more with this tune-up, I'm gonna post this one up. I'll post the stock injector tune-up up for people, but it was completely out of fuel, so maybe if you're not going to run alcohol, you might be okay, but I don't think this was a flex fuel motor. The injectors were really small. I think they were only the 25 or 28. They definitely weren't the 50 or whatever the flex fuelers are. So, it is neat to see the Snake Eater 1000s on an E38 Gen 4 ECU, so once I work on this a little bit more, I'll put this base up. It's a 2007 E38 Corvette base, manual transmission base tune. But you know, you should be able to use applicable data in something else if you want to. So no air, no AC, like the other guy said in my comments. I can't wait for your next video to be you just basking in air conditioning, and I was hoping that would be me today too. So we got about a second or two of really ice cold air before that line let go, but that's fine. It pissed me off enough to complete the rest of this, so that's where we're at.